This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 1230. Why Should You Care About Corrective Exercise? By Harold Gibbons with markfisherfitness.com. And I'm your host and narrator, Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy middle of the week Wednesday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I read some of the best health and fitness blogs to you, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. Now, it's the first Wednesday of the new year. Maybe you're back at work, even remotely. Things might have started getting hectic again. You might need a little bit of inspiration. That's basically what I'm getting at. So like I do every Wednesday, I want to share with you a little bit of inspiration. So here we go. Quote, "A disciplined person sets their sight on a lofty target, then figures out productive ways to reach that target. Disciplined people are not easily sidetracked." Thomas J. Stanley, from his book, The Millionaire Mind. All right, and with that, let's get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. Why Should You Care About Corrective Exercise? By Harold Gibbons with markfisherfitness.com. At Mark Fisher Fitness, we're obsessed with finding opportunities to get better. We care about creating the best training environment possible. Your goal is to look and feel your best, and that's exactly what we want you to do. Ninjas achieve rapid physique, personal, and lifestyle transformations. One of our best tools for achieving these transformations is called corrective exercise. Probably the best definition of corrective exercise that I've seen comes from our friend Mike Robertson. Quote, "Corrective exercise is an approach where an assessment is used to determine specific weaknesses and or limitations of the athlete. This assessment drives the programming process, where a systematic and progressive approach is used to reduce the likelihood of injury and improve performance." End quote. We use a ton of corrective exercises at Mark Fisher Fitness, and I think we're doing our jobs right. Here's why. All exercise is inherently corrective, and there is massive power in performing simple movements with precision and strength. The term corrective exercise doesn't always have the best connotation either. I need corrective exercise? I must be broken. They hate me. When I first sat down with Mark Fisher, he said, quote, "First of all, not sure I love the term corrective exercise. I'm usually not one to parse over semantics, but the root assumption is that something needs to be corrected. While you could argue that I think a more useful frame is that something is being improved." End quote. Ah, great. Improvement exercise. So much better. Wait, if that's the case, then why do we put so much emphasis into corrective exercise? Well, Mark continues by saying, at its heart, corrective exercise is merely finding the best rung on the ladder to help a trainee get a movement pattern closer to ideal. He also says, while we sure can provide cues during an exercise, taking the time to address specific limiting factors in a pattern best allows us to improve this pattern. According to Mark Fisher Fitness trainer Matt Wilson, we address these limiting factors with exercises that don't necessarily feel like lifting heavy things, but that are potentially really useful. Corrective exercise isn't about fixing what's perceived to be broken or policing perfection. It may be about improving exercise, but it's definitely an exercise in improvement. If we can focus on what is blocking our progress, we find opportunities to get a whole lot better. When does it all begin? Figuring out the right corrective exercise for the right person begins with the Functional Movement Screen, or FMS. The FMS is used to establish a movement baseline and is an integral part of planning your fitness journey. Completing an FMS is like taking your car for inspection before a road trip. You don't really have to do it. You can pop into the car and turn on your GPS and just drive. But even the best route won't get you there if your car can only turn to the left. Using the FMS, we can plan the most appropriate route for your starting point. What is that route going to look like? That's up to you. Some of us want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. Others want the most scenic route possible. Still others want a greater sense of adventure or happiness. There's no right way to do your journey. You're calling the shots. That said, we can all agree that breaking down on the side of the road or getting stuck in traffic isn't ideal. The FMS is only the beginning. As our fitness journey continues, we must regularly reflect on what movements look and feel the best, and when necessary, what we can do to improve them. In pretentious fitness land, there's a big emphasis on assessment, weakness, and limitations. These are certainly things to look for, but our view is one of empowerment. What can we focus on improving? What more can we discover about ourselves? Above all else, corrective exercise should be a process that allows us to best reach our goals. What if that goal is losing 100 pounds? What if that goal includes better balancing the onslaught of stress in the concrete jungle? What if that goal is being a better boss to ourselves? These goals combine health and hotness, and achieving them is dependent on feeling better. So what happens if corrective exercise makes us feel worse? Our daily mission to find glory can be stressful, and that stress can have a big impact on our fitness goals. We trick ourselves into thinking it's all under control, but under the surface, our bodies are dealing with chronic stress. That stress can mess things up big time. There's a cruel irony to using stress-reducing exercises for the stressed. It doesn't always work. Fighting perfectionist tendencies, we entertain our own personal suckfest when something isn't done just right. Mark Fisher fitness trainer Katie Kaufman notes that many fitness professionals may take it too far. Quote, "If we block them by not letting them actually lift, causing them to feel broken, is it really corrective? Assuming that the goal is to look and feel better about themselves, I would say the answer to that question is no." End quote. Corrective exercise is an ongoing process of assessment and programming that is all about you. We are better served by making corrective exercise or improvement exercise an empowering aspect of your training by beginning from where you are at any given moment. It isn't about perfection, but about finding opportunities to move better so that we can see the best health and hotness results possible. Most importantly, it's about having the best tools possible so that we can lift better, live better, and get better. You just listened to the post titled, "Why Should You Care About Corrective Exercise?" by Harold Gibbons with markfisherfitness.com. And thank you to PlushCare. They make it super easy to schedule an appointment and see a doctor virtually through your smartphone or computer. I just pick a time that works for me, book it online, and no need to wait on hold or even leave the house and sit in a crowded waiting room. Signing up was a breeze for me, especially considering what's typically required at a doctor's office. They make it super convenient and comfortable. These doctors care. I can be diagnosed, treated, and even have a prescription sent to my pharmacy of choice if needed within minutes. And PlushCare doctors are available anytime I have questions. They'll even help with managing emotions. And good news, PlushCare accepts most major insurance carriers and is available in all 50 states. PlushCare makes it easier than ever to take care of yourself, inside and out. Start your membership today. Go to plushcare.com/OHD to start your free 30-day trial. That's plushcare.com/OHD for a free 30-day trial. plushcare.com/OHD. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. If we take a moment to think about the main theme of this post, it's actually really similar to what we discussed yesterday. It's all about mindset. I'll repeat something today's author Harold mentioned. He said that instead of thinking of functional movement screening or FMS as a way to find our weaknesses, think of it as a form of empowerment. Doesn't that sound a whole lot better? Simply reframing this process and thinking of it as a way to improve ourselves instead of a way to find our weaknesses is so much better. Like we discussed earlier this week, if we think of a diet as something that's going to be limiting and painful, we're probably not going to be all that successful. But if we instead think of it as just the first step on our journey to a healthier lifestyle, it can change our entire trajectory. All right, that does it for me for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, and I'll see you back here for tomorrow's show where your optimal life awaits.